Hey, what is up, guys? The Allfather here with our next war recap. It was a close one, a nail biter. You can see just a one-star victory, 70 to 69, coming off a tiebreaker loss on the last war. We'll take it, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the great three-star attacks. Stay tuned and watch all the way to the end for a very special epic war fail. That will be at the end of this video. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the three-star attacks from this war. First off, we have Tigerhawk with a pretty much a straight hogger, looks like here, and executed very well. You can see this follow-up attack pre-triggering all three of the giant bomb locations. However, even if it wasn't a follow-up attack, that would be a logical thing to do in those spots to go ahead and accomplish the lure and pre-trigger those 2x2, 2x3 openings and test for giant bombs and Teslas there. And so regardless of whether it's a follow-up or a first time pre-scouting, that would all make sense. Goes ahead and poisons, get the loon down and half of the dragon's health. Love those builder huts in the corners, obviously. Nice anchor spots away from defenses to drag out that enemy clan castle dragon. Get him out away from where anything can help him. And then just pretty much a simple little barb walk backed up by the wizards. Giant with the extra health points, and it's down quick. So you can see there, it doesn't take a whole lot of expenditure on troop space to get that done. 20 or less pretty much, and very efficient. Then you see the two-finger hog drop works really nicely because of the spacing of the defenses. They're going to split, and that is by design there. You see one group goes one way, one goes the other way, and what that does is instead of having all the hogs trying to hit the same defenses, they work kind of separately, but then they converge at the end of the raid. And you see the clan castle hogs come in, max hogs there, halfway through the raid. Everything converges on the bottom of the base around the BK under a heal, and that's the ideal situation with a straight up hog attack, is that you have a couple packs of hogs, at least on certain bases. This one worked out well, that kind of run around the base and then meet up together where they're going to just gang tackle the BK, knock him out with pretty much one hit, and then you can just see there's just a mess of hogs left. Started with 30 something, probably 20 something left there, so didn't lose hardly any hogs. And all the giant bombs are obviously easily diffused because of the bad base design, and lends itself to a very easy 3-star victory there for Tigerhawk. So really nice job there. Next up, we have Chaz going against the number 15 base here, and he's bringing a Go Weho as well. You can see this base is very difficult to pre-scout where, what is going to be a giant bomb, what's going to be a Tesla, and those kind of things. And so got to be a little more careful with the hogs here. But the nice thing is, look at the core of the base here while he's taking care of the clan castle lure kill, no big deal there. But it's mortars and air defenses. There's nothing in the core that's going to hurt him. And so everything that needs to be dealt with is pretty much on the outside of the base. And so what makes sense here is a surgical approach to the hog drops to dance around some of the potential giant bomb locations and then get into the core where there's most likely Teslas in those 3 areas in the core. But other than that, you don't have any worry about the mortars or the air defenses in the middle. So BK is accessible at the top side there. Missed with the wall breakers. Must have got a mortar shot there. Need to definitely time the wall breakers to not go in at the same time as the mortar shot. But the BK does end up coming out and jumping the wall, so his troops deal with them and eventually get in. And that's the key there. That's what needed to happen with that Golem BK Whiz kill squad. They just needed to get the enemy BK out of the way, and so they did their job. And then here you see the sprinkled surgical hogs coming in from each side, kind of attack it from 3 different angles and put 3 heals on the approach to the core. Because again, he's just worried about getting through the outside defenses. Yes, there's going to be some Teslas in those little pockets on the approach, but he's not really worried about that too much. He just wants to get all the exterior defenses out of the way and keep the hogs healed up, and then they're not going to be able to do anything. There's nothing left to hit them once they have all those taken out. The mortars are not going to damage anything. Air defenses certainly aren't going to do anything, and so has nothing to worry about once he gets those exterior defenses out of the way. Still see he has a handful of hogs left and saves a few wizards back. BK still up for the cleanup, and the rest is history. So really nice job there. anticipating the threats to that base and using that surgical hog deployment and some swag poison drops at the end to rub it in. Really nice job there, Chaz. Next up is going to be a very unorthodox 3-star attack by Seymour Kitties. You can see his army composition: 8 dragons, 8 hogs, and I believe he's got clan castle hogs as well, which is really, I've seen that kind of combination fail a lot. So he's using the hogs here, and he obviously wants to get a lure accomplished for whatever reason. He decided he wanted to get a lure, so he spends quite a few hogs there, 5 or so, to get in, get that archer tower out, and then get the clan castle lured, and accomplishes that. I didn't have time to go into this detail attack a lot. See, he's baking the troops right here. He's going to light quake an AD. I don't know what the purpose is in waiting to do the light quake. I see how long it took to do that. First of all, I always recommend doing it at the beginning of the attack. Secondly, while the second you drop that poison spell and you were waiting for them to cook in there, you might as well drop the light quake spell, because you definitely don't want to time out on an attack where you've done everything right, but you wasted a little too much time on things that weren't all that important. But you see here, he wanted to get the dragon out away from everything else. He didn't want to be dealing with it by the air defenses. He's got 2 air defenses remaining, 3 inventory hogs and max clan castle hogs here, and is using them to snipe 2 ADs, and that is very risky, but you can see the pathings there. Flip trap on the way takes a couple hogs out. Giant bomb there, definite threat, but they're pre-healed, so it gets through there. Skeleton traps, BK, double giant bomb set, so that was really a risky move. There could have been a giant bomb out on the edge there where he dropped them. Gets away with all of that. It's definitely not something that, as a matter of standard practice, I would recommend for strategy, but again, he ends up getting away with it. He made sure that he anticipated exactly how many hogs he would need to get through 3 defenses, the BK, potential flip traps, and obviously, allocated that heal spell to that part of the plan as well. And so, probably multiple ways to attack this base. That is probably definitely not one that I would have thought of myself, but ends up working out. Nice thing is none of his dragons had to deal with air defenses at all. He light quaked 1, hogged another one, and so even with only 8 dragons left, and because he did a lure, they took the enemy clan castle dragon out quickly. Pretty much the only threat other than the defenses to the dragons, we're going to be seeking air mines. You're going to have 2 of those sprinkled in there. But other than that, he's got a full legion of dragons, level 3 dragons, able to go through that base and take things out. And so, again, a little bit unorthodox. Thought it's a neat attack that you don't see too often, and that is definitely worth showing. A lot of thought obviously went into that. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but it never hurts to try. So really nice job there with kind of a hoe drag and dragon snipe style attack. Next up, we have General Sherman. This was the clincher for the war, the 70th star, the last attack that we had, and ends up being the winner. Obviously, they're all important to the win. This is just the one that got us to the number that ends up winning the war. And a couple things you see here is that's not a good funnel creation. Because he drops all those witches and everything in the middle, instead of going an outside-in whiz funnel, his BK takes a walk. I don't know if that's what he wanted them to do, but because of that deployment, that's totally expected. Because you didn't create an outside-in whiz funnel to drive your BK to the center. So if that was the design, it worked perfectly. If it wasn't, that's why it happened. But everything else went to the core. Your golems went in there, 3 of them tank in there. Queen, witches, wizards, everything else went there. 1 witch and a couple wizards went around the outside following the BK. So while you're taking care of the core, you've kind of got a squad taking care of some of those outside buildings. And so, sometimes regardless of whether you meant to do something or not, it ends up working out in your favor. But here you see the witches and everything are taking care of business in the core. All the golems went to the middle, so they're drawing fire from all those defenses. A lot of the other troops are able to just kind of walk around the outside and not be pestered too much. And look at that, level 15 queen, and she's got 3 golems tanking for her. Just a few defenses left, but those 3 level 4 and level 5 golem there are going to stay up for a long time. And queen pops that wall and she is not taking any hits at all. And as long as they're up there tanking for her, they're taking care of those giant bombs and running over them. She absolutely is untouched and is able to use that ability at the end to go ahead and take care of the 3-star. And so, again, just a power attack going right at it and ends up working out really nicely. And lastly, I realize we don't hardly ever look at Town Hall 10 attacks because obviously we only have one Town Hall, two Town Hall 9.5s in the clan. But you see here he brings Mountain Dew Maniac against number 1 base, bringing a Go Wee Wee Ho type thing. Not a whole lot of wizards, maybe wizards in the clan castle. Or maybe hogs, I'm not sure. But you see he uses the Quake there. He's going to go right at the Town Hall, and as this attack unfolds, you see some really interesting things here. Notice he does bring a freeze spell to freeze the Inferno Towers, and notice that both Inferno Towers are on single target, and so he's bringing troops that are going to provide a lot of distraction for those single target Infernos. Because they're going to bake big heavy tank troops being single target, but they're not going to be able to handle, they're going to have to retarget every time on things like hogs and witch skeletons. And so those single Inferno Towers are a definite weakness when both of them are set that way to this kind of an army composition, because they're always going to have to be retargeting a different troop. But you see those golems went down quick, and had these been multi-target Inferno Towers, this thing would have been a train wreck. But he drives right up the core, freezes the Inferno Tower, rages into the Town Hall with the witches and the wizards and skeletons. Hogs are coming around the backside kind of untouched and unmolested under a heal spell. They go ahead and take out that backside Inferno Tower and those defenses. And notice he's got all these archers left that he's starting to drop here now, and all those buildings are open for extra percentage points. And so he's already taken care of the 1-star Town Hall. He's at 49%. He's got a great backup plan there for, extra percentage points to guarantee a 2-star, and ends up working out really nicely. Queen is still untouched there, almost full health with her ability left. And, this raid goes on for a little while longer while all these buildings are out there, because it's all freebies from there. And so ends up being really nice. And Town Hall 10, for the most part, and especially in our clan, 2-star attacks a success, and usually anything over 60-70% is definitely a success. And so you see here he's got the 2-star, he's working percentage points, 64% there, and just continues to go ahead and take care of buildings there with the Archer Queen, and ends up being 70% there on a 2-star on a Town Hall 10. So I'm sure, you can get better than that with a 3-star, but we'll take it. That's a really nice 70% 2-star on a Town Hall 10 with Inferno Towers and everything is definitely not too shabby. That does it for the 3-star replays. We're going to look at it this time. For the end of this, and just to kind of give you an idea how this war went, I want to look at the last few war events and what happened. And for some reason, they thought they were going to be awesome and launch all their attacks at the very end. The first guy there, the number 3, if you look about 4 down there, attacks one of our bases, and obviously only 2 stars it. And then their number 1 guy, which is their Town Hall 10, goes ahead and 3 stars, drops down 6 and 3 stars. No problem there. And then their number 14 guy goes in. Oh, going back to that number 3 guy that attacked Awesome Sauce there, went in without heroes. They weren't upgrading or anything, probably just got attacked ahead of time. And so he went in on attack without heroes. The number 1 guy did his job. The number 14 guy there attacked Ryan, which was already 3-starred, and so that wasn't going to help them any. And that left, at the very end, their last player hadn't done their last attack yet, their second attack. And so everything came down to this clutch attack by their number 25 player against our number 10, using a Go Wee Ho with level 2 hogs, no lure. Let's watch how fast this thing dissolves. I think you can see the amount. The replay ends in 45 seconds. We'll go ahead and do it in double time. So it's going to end in about 20 seconds just to show you how awesome this attack was. Leaving it up to your number 25 player to win the war for you. Drops the hogs with no lure, loons and Valk in the clan castle and a witch. And all ground troops. And those loons are going to drop them right there. Boom, 40-some second fail. That is the biggest fail of the war. Bad planning, bad strategy. They had an opportunity to at least tie, and that's what they ended up with. So works out just great for us. We'll take it, and we'll take that victory. So great job to everybody once again. If you enjoyed the videos, obviously, don't forget to like, subscribe. Feel free to comment if there's anything you like, disagreed with, whatever. Make sure that you can follow us on Twitter at Clash with Taft, Twitter handle at Clash with TAF. And until the next time, this is the Allfather signing out.